The notion that global warming is a satanic mission to undermine Jesus may seem far-fetched to many, but it is a perspective that warrants exploration. To understand this concept, it is essential to delve into the ideological underpinnings of this idea and examine the potential connections between global warming, Satanism, and Christianity. At its core, the idea that global warming is a satanic mission to undermine Jesus is rooted in the belief that Satan is actively working to destroy God's creation and thwart God's plan for humanity. Proponents of this perspective argue that global warming is not merely a natural phenomenon or the result of human activities, but rather a deliberate attempt by Satan to undermine God's sovereignty over the earth. By promoting environmental degradation and destruction, Satan is, in effect, seeking to undermine the very foundations of God's creation and the biblical account of the world. One of the primary ways in which global warming is seen as a satanic mission to undermine Jesus is through its impact on the natural world. The Bible teaches that God created the world and entrusted humanity with its care and stewardship. However, the effects of global warming, such as rising temperatures, melting ice caps, and extreme weather events, are seen as a direct attack on God's creation. By destroying the natural world, Satan is, in effect, seeking to destroy the very thing that God created and called good. Furthermore, the idea that global warming is a satanic mission to undermine Jesus is also linked to the concept of spiritual warfare. According to this perspective, the battle between good and evil is not just a metaphorical or spiritual concept, but a very real and tangible reality. Satan is seen as a powerful and malevolent force that is actively working to destroy humanity and undermine God's plan for the world. Global warming, in this context, is seen as a key component of Satan's strategy to achieve this goal. In addition, some proponents of this perspective argue that the push for environmentalism and sustainability is, in fact, a satanic plot to undermine traditional Christian values and promote a secular, humanistic worldview. According to this line of thinking, the emphasis on environmentalism and the need to reduce carbon emissions is not merely a pragmatic response to a real-world problem, but rather a cleverly disguised attempt to promote a secular, earth-worshipping ideology that is antithetical to Christian values. It is also worth noting that some Christian leaders and theologians have argued that the concept of global warming is, in fact, a form of earth worship that is incompatible with Christian theology. According to this perspective, the emphasis on environmentalism and the need to protect the earth is seen as a form of idolatry, where the creation is elevated to a position of superiority over the creator. This, in turn, is seen as a satanic attempt to undermine the biblical account of creation and the role of humanity within it. In conclusion, while the idea that global warming is a satanic mission to undermine Jesus may seem far-fetched to many, it is a perspective that is rooted in a particular ideological and theological framework. By examining the potential connections between global warming, Satanism, and Christianity, it becomes clear that this idea is not merely a fringe conspiracy theory, but rather a complex and multifaceted perspective that warrants careful consideration and exploration. Ultimately, whether or not one accepts this perspective, it is essential to recognize the deep-seated concerns and values that underlie it, and to engage in respectful and nuanced dialogue with those who hold this view.